Welcome back to the Fantasy Panda YouTube channel. Monday the 8th of June, and we can finally say guess what is back? We can finally get our teeth into our favourite FPL. Enough of Eminem. Sorry, I just had to use that little moment for guess who's back. So yeah, just quickly, FPL's come back. The unlimited free transfer game, for game week 30 plus, as we'll now get used to. I have a quick rundown of all the new rules on the website, and I'll go through the fixtures, and I'll kind of build a game week 30 team with a couple of little momentums and what I plan on doing with that momentum of having my wildcard still, my bench boost, etc. And I'll kind of explain through this video of certain players and certain routines that I kind of try and use over the next 7 days before the fixtures on the Wednesday with Man City, Villa, Sheffield United, and Man City, Arsenal. Just quickly, it's going to be an absolute feast of football, isn't it? All the kick-off times, and I've propped the times up, and I'm going to scroll through them as I go. But you're going to be able to watch every single game, which is going to be absolutely delightful for FPL, because you're going to get such more of a, instead of just 10 minutes on match a day of certain players, and if you're even less of time, like sometimes I very rarely get a chance before the next game to see all 20 teams, all 10 games, with the role that, certainly I have to spend more time on the Championship due to other reasons. So this is going to be great to be able to sit down and get a good 90 minutes of pretty much every team before game week 31. It's going to be absolute top draw. It's going to be nice to have football to focus on, obviously, with the world the way it is at the moment. So, without further ado, I'll just quickly get the rules up on here. So, here's the rules. I'm just going to change the screen slightly so you can... There, so here we are. So, as the rules are stating, unlimited transfers. So, you're basically getting a free, you get like a free hit, really, or a free wildcard. Depending on what you've got left, I've got my wildcard and free hit, so it kind of gives me quite a bit of range of scope what I plan on doing in the future, which I'll explain when I bring my team up on the page. But obviously last week it was confirmed the Premier League season was with all safety requirements in place. Obviously the way how quick this country's kind of turned around certain aspects, I think it was never going to be in doubt the Premier League was back. I'd heard from multiple sources from football, working at a football club, and a few players from the Premier League had already said that they'd be planning to go back to training. Nearly 8 weeks ago now, so I always was very hopeful this was going to come back mid-June. And once I heard the horse racing, Royal Ascot had been confirmed to go ahead, I knew straight away the Football League, the Premier League would be back. I was more doubtful for the Football League, but the Premier League being back up to schedule was top draw. So they've made the following changes. It's all been allocated new game weeks, which makes a little bit of a difference because I don't think there's going to be any double game weeks going towards 36, 37, 38, which maybe change a few strategies up. I wasted my triple captain on Sterling in the last game week, obviously, because he didn't play twice because the first game called off coronavirus. So that's hurt a little bit, but it is what it is. You can't moan about it. You just got to get on with it. So coronavirus, it's taken my triple cap away, but it is what it is. Game week 30, double game week, which we knew about because of the games that was cancelled with that coronavirus, followed by a full round of 10 matches. So that's going to make it quite. You can be quite aggressive. In those 9 weeks after game week 30 plus. With 30 plus, what I plan to do, which I'll explain later, is attack that hard with a double game week for Villa, Sheffield United, Man City and Arsenal. And then I will probably wildcard out on 31. But so you can make a limited free transfers between 30 plus and the deadline. Absolutely, I've got no qualms. I see a few people saying it's not fair, etc. But we've just had a pandemic and they need to get everyone back playing again. Twitter's a very, very small, percentage of the game. There's going to be a lot of people out there who have just totally forgot or lost interest, so they get the notification today they can make a limit transfers. It probably buys a lot of people's interest back in. There's 7 million players. They want to get as many of those back on the sites. If they're back on the sites, back in interest, they click on adverts, people are getting paid. So it's all going to come down to that, really. It's all going to come down to volume of traffic and what they can get back in. So I always felt there was going to be some sort of incentive to get people back in the game, and there it is. So any unused chips, guaranteed triple. So there's not much more there. Because of being unlimited, no need to use your wildcard. Manager using that's fine. First deadline, Wednesday, 5 o'clock. So there's nothing really going to catch anyone off guard as long as you're kind of aware of what the new rules are, like we've just explained here. That's taken not even 30, a minute to get through, and you know exactly what's coming now for 9 weeks. I think it's quite thorough. head-to-head leagues ended. I'm not in really any head, that I pay any attention to, so it's not going to change me. If you can create a new one if required. I won't bother with that. Series of articles, yeah. So there's nothing there that's going to make you think, oh, what's going on here? So more than happy with where we are. So let's get down to the team. I didn't make any transfers during the game weeks in between because I decided I was going to close FPL down and really focus on my NFL. And if you've watched my NFL videos, the last two that I've done, you'll see that I'm wade in deep on that one at the moment, and I've done that just sacrificed FPL during the break, so I didn't make any transfers between. So my team is, as it said, where's it gone? My team. So yeah, my team is literally as I left it. Fabianski in goal, home to Ward, Baldock, Sontru, Robertson, Doherty, Rico, Salah, Almiron, Sterling, who I'm going to keep. Sterling is my captain. Vardy, Jimenez, Woodman, Traore, Capu, and Chris Wood. Just going to look at them. If you look at the bottom right, you see the fixtures now coming through. So Villa, Sheffield United, City, Arsenal. I fancy City to do a trick on Arsenal in that game. Norwich, Southampton. Everyone's, there's a lot of love for Norwich coming back, but I can't see it myself. I won't be picking any Norwich players at all. I'll be leaving them well alone. Spurs, Man United. Man United will be quite popular. I think Bruno, obviously, and Rashford, and maybe a Man U defender may be the way to go in terms of the way the game weeks line up. Go in there just quickly. Most of them. What's the first four? First four on Sky Sports and a few BTs. But the good news, if you haven't got either of those, you can get BBC on BBC, which I think is brilliant by the Premier League to go and do that. So West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Palace, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Villa, Chelsea, Everton. So we've got a cluster of fixtures. Are you looking at that? You're looking at Man City players. In terms of Liverpool, I think the week after they got City, haven't they? So we'll go to game week 2 because I was looking 3-week clusters of my players. Obviously, this first game week for mine, I'm going to show what I'm going to do in terms of my using this as a wild card to bench boost. But if you haven't got that luxury, I'd be looking at these fixtures here and thinking, right, who can I double the players with in terms of 2s to 3s? Ready to go. So Man United, Sheffield United, Newcastle, Villa, Norwich, Everton, Wolves, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Palace, Burnley, Southampton, Arsenal. So there's a few clashes going around. You'd have to fancy Leicester to Brighton in terms of, I think Leicester can try and keep that third spot very highly. And I wouldn't rule West Ham players out. Let's go back to the week before. West Ham have got Wolves at home. And then, I will be looking at a few of those. Potentially Jared Bowen. He was just starting to hit a little bit of form and scored. I think he's a great player. Then they've got Chelsea. To Man City. Liverpool got quite a few tough ones rolling up. But, on Prime Video, got Palace, Burnley. So, so if you're looking at the little clusters, there's nothing really to make, I think Man United there. And obviously Man City's fixtures. I think you're looking at Man City, Man United. Really could be the spine of your team with 5 or 6 players. If you're not going to free hit or wild card after 30 plus. Let me just go back to this game week that we're going to play. So 30 plus. So my team is a moment. As I said, my plan is to go all out for game week 30 plus. Use my bench boost because you can get keepers that play 4 games. I think there's a few things on Twitter already about that. So what I'm going to plan on doing, I'll start with the keepers first. So what I'm going to do is remove all the players off here. Transfers. So I'm going to remove all my team, and I haven't got great value in my team because I was chasing. I was chasing a lot of this season. I was down in 4 million when I started. I had one of the worst starts I've ever had in FPL. The fact I'm back to £500,000 for me, I can't. It's kind of an achievement. I'm really not proud. I wouldn't say proud, but quite fulfilling. The season could have been over, and I could have just given up. Especially as I was going, my NFL season was going quite well, so I didn't lose any range and just took it as a new challenge. My challenge originally was to do as well as last year, which I knew was going to be extremely hard, being in the top 1500. So you just have to alter your challenge and get the most out of any season you can. When you're down in 4 mil, make sure you're not in 3 mil. Make sure you get to 2 mil, 1 mil, and you just keep taking new challenges. So now I'll hopefully get a bit higher and higher and see where it takes me. If I get to 300,000 for the season, I'd be delighted with that. For how the start went, I was in purgatory. It was terrible, my start. So what I'm going to do is start with the keeper. So I've eliminated all my team here, which you can see on the main screen. Going to start with the 2 keepers, so I'm going to get rid of me now. So I'm going to start with Dean Henderson. Add player there. Do Dean Henderson straight in my team. And then I'm going to go Edison. Just type in Edison. There he is. So there's my 2 keepers. So that's 12 mil gone. Obviously what I will do is I will probably go and get rid of Henderson the week after. Go in there. So just having a quick look through Sheffield United. I'll keep Baldock in my team. So I'll add restore Baldock because Sheffield United have got Villa and then they've got Newcastle. So I'm more than happy with Baldock, and I think Baldock at 4.8 is good value in terms of attacking what he does on the right hand side. And Lundstrom, you never know. From he's kind of one of it. He was the darling, wasn't he? But I don't say much more than that. But he had been out of the team for a little bit, so we'll leave that there. Whilst I'm here, I will add Sterling back in because I want to keep him. So now we've got a bit of fun to play with. Soyuncu, the value. Let's restore Soyuncu up because they got Watford. With Troy Dean, Troy Dean, I think he's going to play. But Watford haven't been that spectacular. I know they beat Liverpool, but they still up and down. I'll be more than happy to take Soyuncu as part of my bench boost squad. Right, let's go. So we need to look for Man City. We've got Edison. What's Sterling? How much money? We've got 67.6 remains, so not as much as I'd like. So who's Bournemouth got? Palace. Probably not going to keep Rico, just because even though he's 4.1. I think he's worth more than that now, isn't he? Look at his info just very quickly. 4.2, so he's not gone up massively as much as I thought he had, to be fair. He must have come back down. So let's just look at the favourable fixtures. Sheffield United playing twice, Villa are playing twice. So you're looking at probably Grealish out of Villa, aren't you? Man City, Arsenal. Who's Arsenal's second game? Brighton. So let's go with Arsenal. And let's bring Chris Wood. Just for sakes, let's put a Aubameyang in. Now this may change again in a second because that brings my team down in value. There, so there's got Aubameyang. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players playing twice. 5 players playing twice. We want at least 7. So Villa. You're looking at Grealish, but I prefer Sheffield United. Man City, Aubameyang's going to start, and he's going to start in that game. So you're getting 4 minimum. You've got to go triple Man City. This little replacement for Robertson. Swap that out. Defenders. Pereira's injured, isn't he? So you could get into Leicester's team with one of their right back. I think it's something James, isn't it? One of the young lads that's playing. But Man City. This is quite tough. This is more tough than I realised, to be fair. Have a look, Man City, tell me here. Scott Carson, why is he still on there? Laporte would be the only one, really, I suppose, but it's just the 5 fixtures, I think. The 5 subs, sorry. You can. Do you fancy any of these to play all those time? I can't have Carl Walker just due to the fact what he got up to during lockdown. Take a stand on that. So let's go and have a look at what their forwards. KDB is 10.6. So I went KDB and Aguero over Sterling. But Sterling could be a little bit of a differential. What would it look like if because I'm not going to have Salah, so let's go De Bruyne. Just because I think he's the best player in the league. De Bruyne, Sterling. Edison, 45.9. Okay, we can make this work. It's not going to be as good as up front as I'd hoped, but Sheffield United forward. McBurney. See, they're a bit rotational, aren't they? A bit too rotational to be thrown in to start. So let's now look at who's got good home games. So Man United got Spurs. You'd have to fancy Man United against Spurs, wouldn't you? West Ham. So let's have a quick look at West Ham. Because I've got to have a few attempted differentials in here to try and gain rank. So Sebastian Haller, who I'm very high on, I think he's a great player. Just needs some more support and more help around him. And Jared Bowen 6.5. So his last game, Southampton 9 points, 77 minutes, 6.5. Anderson, what a letdown he's been this season. I had him last. I thought he was fantastic. Played really well. Got loads of points, but Antonio. So yeah, you're looking at a very small. Haller. He'll start, won't he? So let's put him in for the second. So I really fancy West Ham to get out of this mire. They're too good to be where they are. So we've got some Leicester coverage. So we've got to get some Man United coverage in. I'm going to go without Liverpool for this game week. I may go at the back with one. But in terms of how it sets up with the players, I'm going to try and leave it out for Liverpool, just to try and be a bit different. So where are we? Let's go back to the Man United. I've had Wan-Bissaka a lot. I think he's bonus magnet, isn't he? So let's go slot Wan-Bissaka in there. And then we're going to go... Will Pogba be back? Could gamble on Pogba, but no, you got to go. I think we're going to Marcus Rashford. So that's my front line. So that leaves me 25 million left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I probably will have to sacrifice Sterling maybe. That's an average of 5 mil a spot, isn't it? Because I want to, play a bench boost, so it doesn't really matter in terms of there. So Newcastle have got Sheffield United, Villa have got Chelsea. So what happens if we slot it in? Aston Villa player, Jack Grealish. Let's go Grealish because he's going to play twice. That gives me 6.4. So I'm going to look for a Southampton player. I fancy them to get a result at Norwich. What's Redmond? Which is Redmond? He's 6 point something, is he? 6.2. Let's add him in. I fancy them to get a result against Norwich. Brighton, Arsenal, West Ham, Wolves. I'm going to go without Wolves. I'm going without Palace. I'm going to go. What can I get for Bournemouth? I've had Rico. That's just Bournemouth don't keep clean sheets, do they? That's just a bit reckless. This is really tough. This is going to take a few attempts. This Nathan Ake 4.8. He's their best player, isn't he? Let's go gamble on Ake for now. What's that leave me? 7.6. So we'll have to get rid of someone. It's a shame. So just have a look. Another count and we're double. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 double game week players. Maybe I could get another Arsenal player. Not that high on Arsenal though. Take a Aubameyang out of it. I couldn't really rate many of them. No, I'm keeping Rashford. I'm 100% keeping him front three. I'm going to take a gamble on Haller at home to Wolves. It could be that Sterling goes, but then I've not got many premiums if I do that. I've got 7.6 left. That's really frustrating. I want free City. Sterling, De Bruyne. Let's just quickly look back at the Man City. Midfielders. Mahrez, no. Sterling, Silva, Bernardo. That is just rotation hell, isn't it? Sane could be back, but no, don't do it. Try and keep those two in. So we've got to look for a 4 point something defender. I'm just going to gamble. I can't gamble on Everton and Liverpool, can I? So Sterling's going to go. I think I'm going to have to sacrifice Sterling. And what I'm going to do is add Laporte in. And that gives me 13, so that gives me a lot more flexibility in terms of midfield. Am I stupid ignoring Wolves against West Ham? I could go Adamo. I think he scored at West Ham as well. No. So let's go back to Sheffield United. I know I'm doubling up with 2, but what are any midfielders? Fleck. 5 mil. I'm a big fan of Callum Robson. Shame he's injured. I might have took a little gamble on him. I think he's quite a good player. Norwood. If I go Fleck, Baldock, Henderson, Villa, Newcastle. Let's do it. So let's treble up on Sheffield United. This is the first time I've even looked at this, by the way, in weeks. So apologies, it's a bit slow. Hopefully you're going to find little ways and little movements that may help you, and you may think, hang on a minute, Panda, why on earth are you doing that? Oh, you should be doing this. And I will do this again and change it, because I do want to work something out in terms of how I could get Sterling back in. 8 mil. Right, so we've got 8 million left to play with. Am I insane in considering an Everton player? I can't do an Everton player. Can't do an Everton player. Pogba's just out of range, isn't he, for Man United? But trebling up on Man United, is that dangerous? I really like Igalo up front, to be fair. I think he's a great player. I think he was very underrated from when it was time at Watford. I think he was forgotten about myself. Pogba 8.3, I've got 0.3 short. Fernandez 8.6, right, is that Fernandez in? And now I've got Sacrifice, how much is it, 0.6. Right, let's get rid of Laporte. Let's go back to Man City. Who could potentially play both games? I love Mendy, but he ain't going to last, is he? Is it too much of a rotation risk? Do I just go to City? I'm more leaning that way right now. Really tough trying to find a player. I love Reece James at Chelsea. 0.2 short for Aspilicueta. That's typical, isn't it? Reece James 5.1. Gamble on that. If he plays, let's have a look. I think he's brilliant. It's such a shame there's so many right backs ahead of him. He's played the last 290, to be fair, and he's young. And his interview, I thought his interview was fantastic in terms of how he realised this is the best chance he's ever going to get to improve as a player. He's never going to get this break in a season again. So for now, I'm going to add him in. So now back to 0.6 again. So could improve a couple of players where I really like Soyuncu in that spot. Really like Baldock, really like Wan-Bissaka. Ake, I'm not sure. I think it's a little bit of a gamble. Edison Henderson's fine. Reece James, a little bit of a gamble. De Bruyne, Fleck, Grealish, Redmond, Fernandez, Aubameyang, Haller, Rashford. So I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double game weeks. Potentially not enough in terms of using the chips. I may have to try and figure a way I can get 2 or 3 more in. I really want Sterling back, so I may have to knock down Haller to someone else. Maybe sacrifice Rashford if I'm going Fernandez. But for now, that is what I'm going to go with at my team with the 0.6. So I'm going to go with 0.6 spare. So go and have a little think about it for a few days, have a little look around. But for now, I'm going to go Henderson, Edison, Wan-Bissaka, Soyuncu, Ake, Baldock, Reece James, De Bruyne, Fleck, Grealish, Redmond, Fernandez, Aubameyang, Haller and Rashford. That's where my team is going to set up for my one-off game week 30 plus bench boost. That kind of answers the question I was asked on Twitter from FPL 5050. Let me just triple check that. About bench boosting game week 30 plus. For me, yes, just solely down to the value of the double game week. That is why I'm going to target it. I think the chance to use that and get, should we say, a certain amount of players playing twice is definitely worth it. It's just figuring out which players, and having looked at it for the first time, I come straight on here. And doing so, I was a little bit slow trying to figure out who I want. So I'm going to have to go away and sit and make some notes and find out another way potentially. But for now, that's where my team's going to set. So I hope you found that kind of informative. I hope that's kind of made some sort of sense of what's happening for FPL for the next few weeks. And we'll go again and we'll have a chat on Twitter. I'll be on there, so just drop me any messages at Fantasy Panda. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's another thing. I'm so close to 100 subscribers, so I can have the custom name. That will help me out massively going forward for this, for NFL and F1. They're the three that I'll be focusing on. But in the meantime, if you need them, just hit me up at Fantasy Panda on Twitter. Cheers.